And that's when you at your own 657 AM Radio Pulpit, your daily companion. Gave you the sounds of Nathaniel Bassi featuring Ntogo Zombambo and the title of the song El Shaddai Adonai. And that's how we came out from our 1 o'clock news bulletin. But now in the studio, I have so many surprises. And I think the second surprise, I owe it to Denny Vambili to say thank you for bringing him here. So you made sure that he flies, ne?
I will.
Oh, you will? You didn't make him fly?
No, I made sure he flew into the kite.
I got Denny Vambili in the studio. He's like, I will. No, you have already done it. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Pastor Ali. Ali. Now
yes,
I wanted to
Ali.
say Ellie.
Yes.
Ellie.
Yes,
Pastor Ali. Khosana, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How about you?
Dumedisha mboma.
Evan, Pastor Dumelang.
Do they know you're here?
They actually don't know. They don't know. I should have told my
Oh,
grandmother.
Lampulaisha.
My grandmother is 99 years of age and still very strong. I wish I told her, but you know what? She can watch it later.
So will you be driving home to Limpopo or Dumedisha?
After this, go Dumedisha. Go Locha.
Or Tamish.
Go Tamish.
Welcome to Radio Pulpit. Is it your first time here?
It's my first time here. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
And what a blessing to be here. A blessing to meet you. I'm looking forward to this, actually.
Well, I'm already having a great time. I hope you are.
I am. You know,
So,
Pastor Denny said a lot about you and good stuff about you.
oh my word,
Yeah.
for Denny. Denny, what did you say?
Just good stuff.
But welcome to Radio Pulpit, and let me
Thank
welcome you to the family of Radio Pulpit and not to the listeners. We do not have listeners on the show, but we have family members. So you are now joining the family, and you are a family member yourself. So thank you for coming through.
Thank you.
You wrote a book called Self-Sabotage, The Enemy of Prophecy.
Yes.
Okay, where did that all come from?
That book has been a long journey of my life in the ministry and the frustration that I saw in my life as well. And the idea that when you think about Romans 11:29, where it says God's blessings or His giftings are without repentance, and that when God releases His promises to us, those promises that He gives to us, God won't change His mind to
And say, no, I made a mistake. Ali Busa. No, bring back.
Bring back those blessings.
He wouldn't do
bring
that.
back that. But God doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But what I began to see in my life was that I started holding on to these promises, but allowed situations to speak at a higher volume above the promises of God, and ended up not even doing those things.
Hypo.
And as I started, going into the ministry, and whenever I traveled, I remember last year I was invited in a church to speak in Michigan.
Yes.
And when I was there, a young lady came to me, and she was a worship leader in this church. And this was quite a large church. I mean, you would think that she's accomplished something. And she came to me, started talking to me, and she told me of the things that God has told her, the things that God has said to her. But she said, I don't understand, why can't I walk in the promises that God has given to me? And I realized, and it was the kind of the attitude of, has God changed His mind? Has God changed His heart about the promises He's given to me? And I said, no, He has not. And even at that moment, the Lord began to say to me, He said, my people self-sabotage the incorruptible word and promises that I've given to them.
Okay.
Because for you and I to be able to walk in the fullness of the promises of God, there needs to be a partnership between Rena and God. So, and God is not going to make me walk into His promises. And many times people will hold on to the promises of God and end up not walking in them, not because the promises were not true, but because they've allowed perhaps fear of the unknown. Maybe in the past somebody tried something, it failed, and now God say, I'm going to do this through you. And they take what God has said and say, no, Mudimaka, based on the CV and the resume that I have of the past failures, I'm afraid to step into what you've said I should do. So therefore, then they hold back and begin to self-sabotage. I was reminded by the words of Dr. Miles Monroe, who said, if you go to any city and think about what is the richest place in any city,
It's the graveyard.
he said it's the graveyard because there lies potential that was never tapped into. But what's the reason for that? The reason for that is that there are people that are lying there and died because they self-sabotaged, they self-distracted.
Sure, Muridi, I've had people even asking questions. How do I know that it was God who said it?
Yeah.
Because now the doubt is like now coming in.
The thing to know, that is why when it comes to, and I'm going to say this and I'll connect it.
Okay.
That is why when it comes to prophecy, it's important to be cemented in the word and understand and read the word. Because how do I know that God is saying certain things? The word becomes my guide.
So
And
deep will call unto deep.
deep will call unto deep. But most of the time we say, hey, I've got promises of God. But when you look at it in the people will come and say, God said this to me. And I look at what Bible did this come out from?
Yeah.
You know, it's something that is so off from the word. But when it's cemented in the word and I can align what has been said to me with the word, then I know. But also the peace that follows that. The peace of the Lord. That sometimes even if a promise is too big, I don't know how I'm going to walk in it. But the peace of the Lord is that witness to me that say, you know what, I might not know how this is going to work out, but in me, I know I've got this inner peace, this confirmation in my heart that, you know what, if God has said this, this is going to come to pass.
Sure. And so because of self-sabotage, because of allowing circumstances and situations. Okay, here's a young woman that the Lord has spoken into her life. And as she goes, things are not happening and going that direction. And I remember her asking a question, then what do I do? Because I'm pregnant, but I've been forever pregnant, not even able to give birth. Why is God not providing a suitable place for where I would give birth and deliver? So how do you answer to such a person? Because those are the things that we come through.
Is there a literal pregnancy?
Yeah. No.
Or
Pregnancy.
I'm pregnant with a promise.
Like you were pregnant with self-sabotage book.
Yeah. Okay. I know. I thought, send that sister to the hospital. Yeah. You know, there's one thing that a lot of us, we fail to understand. And I want to blame it on some religious mindset that we have.
Is it from the teachings that we get?
From the teachings that we've got. And the one word there that most people, they don't understand is the word process.
Yeah.
Everything that God is going to do in my life,
It follows a process.
there's a process, and God is not going to skip the process for you.
Okay.
You know why?
Uh-huh.
He came in the form of man,
Uh-huh.
and he appeared to the temple at the age of 12. We hear nothing about Jesus from the beginning until he's 12. And after 12, we hear nothing. Then he shows up at the age of 30. Why?
There was a process.
There was a process.
Uh-huh.
And if God will subject himself to the law of the process, think about it, even in the natural. You don't fall pregnant today.
And then give birth
in 2
tomorrow.
months or tomorrow. And that is that is a crisis. Then it means you've miscarried. And we have a lot of people that miscarry the promises. And how do they self-sabotage? I begin now to be impatient.
Okay.
He said, I've been pregnant for long. God, why is this promise not coming? God, you promised me a husband, and I've been waiting, I've been praying. And Joseph shows up and lies to you, but in your mind, then you're thinking, you know what? Maybe this is God.
I give up.
I give up.
I give up.
I'm just going to give in.
No men from here onwards. I'm not taking any proposals.
But
that's what we do.
The problem is that we don't understand process. You look at, show me any character or a man or woman in the Bible.
Sure. Now that you mentioned the word, the name Joseph, he followed another process. Yes, he saw the stars bowing down to him. He saw other shields bowing down to his one. But there was a long process that he had to go through before he could become that son that stars bowed down to.
And one thing I say about Joseph that a lot of people don't realize,
Yeah.
in the process, there were stops. The first stop was the stop in the pit. When the brothers tried to
Sold
kill
him, yes.
they sold him. But that selling was very key because that selling
Was a
directed him to a
transportation.
place of destiny. That is a stop. So even with us, in the process, there's a stop in a place of pain, a place of betrayal. Think of Jesus and Judas. Had Judas not kissed Jesus, they'll not be able to recognize Jesus, which means crucifixion was never going to be there. So Judas is important. Is a stop in the journey that is painful. Of
He's
betrayal.
needed.
Is needed.
Okay.
But he was pointing to a destiny.
Yeah.
Then he ends up in Potiphar's house. The wife.
Then the second stop.
The second stop. That second stop takes him to prison. Why is prison important? With Joseph's process.
That's where he was going to be trained.
Trained, but there are two men that are in prison that have
Also, that will bring him
crisis.
out.
And the crisis they have in prison, Joseph in prison is able to solve that.
Yes.
One of them comes out, forgets about him.
The other one,
and
yes,
the
we
king
know.
now has a crisis out there in the palace.
And the other one who's out.
And the guy said, there's a guy in prison. His name is Joseph. He will be able to interpret this dream. But had Joseph looked at prison as a place of defeat and given up there, and even when those men came with dreams, he said, you know what, I give up, I'm not going to do anything, he would have self-sabotaged the palace.
Yeah.
And that's what my book is about. That sometimes we go through those dry places, prison places, a place where you think God is punishing you, but God is not really punishing you. God is saying, are you going to be faithful to me even when you don't see me move, but believe that I'm working things in your life? And those are the moments in the process where the enemy comes to whisper to you and say, Sibongile, it is not going to happen. Sibongile, you've been waiting for long. And he begins to point at other people and say, look at so-and-so. They are prospering. They don't even love God. They are doing well. They are doing better. And then you begin now to look at other people's process and begin now to weigh the vision and the promise against that.
Yeah.
And that's how we self-sabotage. You see, here's the one mistake that we've done in the church. We have not told people about the blessings of hardship.
Are there blessings there?
Oh, they are. They are.
All that we see is doom and gloom.
Ask a woman that is giving birth and it's got labor pains. Those pains are important because those pains are speaking to a sign that something beautiful is about to be born. And when the doctors say push, I'm not pushing because I'm miserable. I'm pushing a blessing, but this blessing itself that I'm pushing is tearing me apart at that pain.
So, Muruti, are you saying that we do not want to pay the price? Because there is a price for every promotion, for every promise, for every prophecy. There is a price to pay.
Yeah, I always say you got to pay the price for the prize.
Okay.
A prize with a C.
For the prize with the Z.
The Z. But most of us want the prize without paying the price. And that's how God operates. Somebody once said, there are no shortcuts to a place worth going. And most of us keep going through the same cycle of pain, cycle of these disruptions that happen because we are uncomfortable with pain. And we have believed the gospel of comfort. And we have allowed even people to speak, especially when it comes to prophecy. We have been sold lies. We have been sold that sow a seed of this much and your blessing will come. Or sow a seed in the way that I'm giving to you because the way that I'm giving you comes from the Lord. And you begin now to pay to do this transaction. You cannot transact with God with money. There are certain things that God will not allow you to forfeit. Just for you to feel. God is not in the business of making us comfortable. The Bible said the kingdom of God suffers violence.
And the violent shall take it by force.
we read the scriptures, but somehow we think they don't apply to us. We think
We
that
don't want to
God-
take it
yeah,
by force.
yeah, see, we think God is going to say, it's Bongila loves Bongila so much. He doesn't have to go through this Jesus. Let's just let her have an easy pass. But he did not do that for his son. The Bible says he was crucified. He was put to shame. But what came after that? Resurrection.
And a number of times they wanted to kill him. They wanted to take his life.
Aha. Look at almost the lives of all the disciples. They were martyred. They were killed. The same Peter that we talk about, they say, oh, Peter denied Jesus. He's the guy, when you look at some scholars, they say when he died, he said, when you crucify me, don't crucify me upright.
Turn me upside down.
Where did that boldness come from?
The other one was boiled in oil.
In oil. And survived. So imagine how John looked when he wrote the book of Revelations. Imagine the pain. But these were men and these were women that you could not have convinced them that there's not a blessing in pain.
Sure.
And my book is all about that. People cut corners. We just think God is going to suspend his whole process just because it's uncomfortable.
What is the necessity for the process?
God wants his promises to be formed in you. He wants his word to form you. And the only way the word can form you is if you wait long enough, allow the crushing. You remember Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane? Gethsemane, when you look at it, was close to Mount Olive. What happens on Mount Olive? Olives are crushed for the oil. If you want olive oil, the process of the olive oil, that the olives needs to be crushed. So Jesus
Was crushed
he was
as well.
crushed.
And then he would release sweat mixed with blood.
But there it is. He shows us an example that even the Son of Man felt the pain, but did not succumb.
So does religion say to us, because he has gone through that, we shouldn't?
Yeah. I've heard
Okay.
people say that. I've heard people say, yeah, we don't preach the gospel of suffering. Paul says that I may know him
Even in...
in the power of his resurrection. That's where we stop. We stop there because that's what we love. We love the power of the... And he
We
said...
don't want
he
sharing
uses-
of the suffering.
He uses a word there, says Bongila, that is very powerful. And he said, in the fellowship. How do you fellowship suffering? The fellowship of his suffering.
Ish. And then that's where the question comes, why me?
Yeah. Because deep down in us, we love to be victims. Because you know why we love to be victims? Because victim mentality provides for you excuses why you cannot do things or why things are not happening the way you are anticipating for them to happen. It gives you a scapegoat. When people say, but Spongile, why are your things not working out? Yeah, me, not the way I grew up. And I'm not saying it in a demeaning way, that there are people that were really abused. There are people that have gone through a lot of pain. But listen, there is a way out for a believer for the pain. He's the one that heals our hearts. But Jesus can never heal a pain that we don't subject and surrender to him. But victim mentality, what it says to us, it says, you know what? I'm the way I am because of my wounds. And my wounds now become a scapegoat of why I don't account to the process and the journey that the Lord wants to put me through.
Almost we are delaying his coming.
Yeah,
We are delaying his coming.
we are. We are. That is why we'll fabricate the second coming. I on the 23rd, they said Jesus was coming.
And there were two loads, Muruti, the 23rd and the 24th.
24th. And now I've seen the air flying here from America. I say, yeah,
You were supposed to have gone.
I was supposed to be going. At least I'll be closer. Eh? In the air, the Lord will come take me.
But now, because we are not occupying,
Yeah.
or our occupying is skew, kinda. There's no deliverance. Like we are not delivering.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not delivering because we are not patient to wait until you see.
But how patient is patient, Muruti? Because another will say it's been 12 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
How patient is patient?
Patient is patient until God has formed in you what needs to form in you. You see, God will never take you to
To
places in
another-
your life where your character won't be able to sustain you. And some of us, the reason why we are still where we are, things are not working, is because every time the Lord wants to adjust my character, I keep on disturbing him
Okay.
with this mentality of shortcuts, with this mentality that if I'm a Christian, I'll never suffer. Suffering is not for me. I'm the blessed. Yeah, you are the blessed of the Lord. We all understand that. Was Paul not the blessed of the
He
Lord?
was.
Was Jesus not of the?
He
He was
is.
a God.
He's
Was
a
John
blessing
not
on his
that?
own.
So, what is it that we think we can read the Bible and look at all these things that happen in the Bible, but Tina, somehow we can be excused?
So how do we then change our mindset? Because it's in the mindset.
Paul speaks about, when you read Romans 12, verse 1, people like verse 2. Verse 2 says, be transformed by the renewal of your mind.
Right.
But, and I'm paraphrasing. Verse 1 says, Paul said, I beseech you therefore, my brethren. He said I beseech you to then give your bodies as a
As
living
a living
sacrifice.
sacrifice.
Sacrifice, anything that is going to be sacrificed needs to die. Paul says, I die daily. Right? So the reason why for that is that we are unwilling to die to self. How do I get to that place? I need to be unwilling to die to things in my own life that are a distraction and an obstacle from, firstly, my relationship with God. Because before a prophecy, before any promise, the most important thing is your relationship with God. And for you and I to have a relationship with God, yes, we give our lives to him. The Bible calls David a friend of God. You get to the level of friendship with God when God brings things into your face you don't make excuses about. When I'll never forget this. I got saved when I was 18. I was in a boarding school. It was during winter break. When I got back to the boarding school, the story went around the residents that Ali is saved.
Yes.
You should understand, Ali used to smoke weed 3, 4, 5 times a day, drunkard, and they knew who I was. So before I could get to school after the
news
winter
went
holidays, the news
forth.
And when I got there, I'm telling you this, a lady that was over the girls' residence, I greeted her. She gave my keys to the room. I left. When I left, I was in my room. Somebody came and said, Miss So-and-so is so upset with you because she said you showed a bad attitude. And I'm a new Christian. I'm still a new Christian. The Lord was still working through me. And I remember thinking, what does she mean? And I went down. I went to the girls' residence with attitude. I'm going to tell her. As I was walking there, the Lord said to me, you need to apologize. Apologize? Why should I apologize? God, I said nothing. And then when I got closer, God said, go and apologize. She lied about me. I knew. The Lord said, apologize. I went there.
Didn't ask any questions.
I said, you know what, Mom Betty, I am so sorry for my attitude. Please forgive me. Her eyes went big and I left, but I felt something in me break. And I realized from that moment that God wanted to test how serious I am with him, that when he tells me, when I feel a slight conviction, or when he says to me, do this, am I willing to suspend my rights about a situation, even if when I was not wrong, and say, you know what, God, if you said it, I'm going to say I'm sorry. So a lot of us, when it comes to our relationship with God, is not the fact that the problem is not the fact that I've confessed Jesus as my Lord. But the thing is, me ignoring him on a daily basis when he convicts me about things in my life that needs to die. So Paul says in Romans 12, when he said, I beseech you, I beg you to give your bodies as a living sacrifice. Let that body of yours die. And he said, the second thing that you're going to have to do, he said, now you're going to need transformation. And he said, now be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Right.
It's hard to renew a mind that is living and controlled by the flesh. If flesh still speaks a louder word in my life, it's hard for me to come to a place of renewal of the mind. If God tells me, Ali, you know what? this about your life. We need to stop it. And I don't do it. And I want to, God, I want my mind to be renewed. It's so hard to get to that place. So for me, that's how I can answer the question. And I know it's a long answer. That's my nature. I'll not just give a quick answer and an easy answer like that, because these things are connected and it's all in the Word. So what is it that you have died to today? What is it in your life today that you know that is there, that the Lord has been convicting you about? The Lord has been saying, but I need this to change. But you are unwilling to sacrifice that and put it on the altar, saying, God, I want this to die in my life. Paul said, I die daily. If Paul was dying daily to the flesh, who am I?
Sure.
Again, it goes back to that shortcut Christianity that we have been given to people. You pray, you are the blessed of, you are the blessed of the Lord. We know that. But process.
One other thing that I ask myself is, with the declarations that we say upon ourselves, do we even believe them?
We don't, because we think declaration is a magic. That's why we do them.
Sure.
That's why we think some of these are magic. I call them the microwave blessings. I want it now, and I want it on my terms. So
the manner, the attitude is wrong.
It is wrong. It's like, I'll give you an example. I've got an 8-year-old son. If I tell him that, hey, every time which is 8-year-old, every time you open the refrigerator, please close it. And he keeps leaving it open. And every time I say, okay, pick up your shoes, he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But after a while, he comes to me and he says, oh, Daddy, I love you. You are the best dad ever in the whole world. Oh, I love you so much.
Bribing you.
I look at it and I'm thinking, but you don't do the things that I've asked you to do.
Yeah.
And that's what we do with God. How does love look like to God? It's in the Word. He said, I will know if you do my command, I know that you love me. If you follow my commandments, if you obey me, is obedience. The love language of God is obedience. It's like my son coming to me, he doesn't obey me, socks are everywhere. I have to, but he comes to me. That's what we do on Sunday. We come and go, oh, Father, I love you, Jesus.
Sure.
I love you. Oh, you are amazing. And he said, yeah. But what about the shoes and the socks that I told you to pick up 3 weeks ago? They're still sitting there. You see, most of us want prophecies. And I always say this to people. What have you done with the last prophecy and the promise that God has given to you? Have you obeyed him?
Okay. Yeah, have we obeyed him? Let's take a break. We're coming back. And I think this next song also speaks to us. It says, change my heart. And it comes from Omega Kuno. We're coming back with Pastor Ali Khosana. And he is the author of the book, Self-Sabotage, The Enemy of Prophecy. You are listening to Radio Pulpit, your daily companion. You're on Heart to Heart with me, Spangile Mufukeng, with you up until 3 o'clock. I'm so not happy with time right now because we only left with 7 minutes just before the 2 o'clock news bulletin. But I'm not alone. I'm with Pastor Ali Khosana, and he is the founder, or should I say the author of the book, Self-Sabotage, The Enemy of Prophecy. And as we're talking, have you also found yourself in that space? Have you checked? Are you doing stock taking where you at as you're listening? Are you saying, but no, Muruti Ngarwe, now you know. Ngari, you know me. Gary, you know me. Muruti, do you mind sharing with us your own journey into how you got to the book? Because you say it comes from a personal space where God was dealing with you personally.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, I really, and there's some of these stories are in a book, but there's one in particular that my wife and I have been married now, will be, God forgive me, 12 years. If I'm wrong, my wife will forgive me. So,
Halisho.
yeah,
Yo.
2013. So, yeah, my math is correct. So in the beginning, we got married, and my wife is citizen of the United States of America. She's African American. She came to this country at a church called Happy Christian Church. That's how we met, and we dated, we married. We stayed in South Africa then for 4 years. And what happened after that 4 years, we felt the Lord was saying, it's time to move to the United States because I want to use you there. But the backstory behind that was in 2003, I was in Mukopane. I went to a tent crusade, and there was a man from Ghana that looked at me and said to me, hey, God is going to use you greatly in America. So when this was before my wife and all that, then when we got married, and now we say we're moving to America, though that word came back, say, wow, God is going to use me greatly in America. Then we moved to America, and it was a sudden thing because we were in America visiting a family for holiday. And we knew that the Lord was transitioning us in South Africa because we had planted a church, but we just took a break, and we thought we were going to replant the church. And then when we were in America, a friend of mine said, I feel your son is going to be born in America. My wife was 5 months pregnant back then. And I said, okay. So we had 6 weeks to pack up our lives in South Africa to
Yeah.
move to the United States. So we packed up our lives in 4 suitcases, literally. That's all we had. So when we got to America, we lived with an aunt. She had a double, so we lived upstairs. And as a man, as we got there, I could not work because now I'm in this new country.
Yes.
Nobody knows who I am and things like that. So we stayed with the aunt there, and somehow we connected to a church. And we found this church, loving church. And this church said to us, hey, we see you're about to have a child. We can help with accommodation.
Okay.
And for me, I say, oh, thank God. But what they had was a pastor's office and a secretary's office. So what they did, they converted a pastor's office
Into an apartment.
into a bedroom.
Okay.
And between the pastor's office and the secretary's office was a little bathroom with a little shower and a toilet and a secretary's office. So the secretary's office was our living room.
Okay.
And when we got there, we were in a church, and I'm thinking, my gosh, God, you said you're going to use me greatly in America. Yeah, I am homeless, if in a way, because I'm living in a church. My wife is pregnant, and when my wife gave birth to our son came in the church, and I thought we were going to be in the church for 6 months, because that's a temporary arrangement. But guess what? We're in that church for 2 years. This is in America, and in that 2 years, I did not preach anywhere. And I started in the ministry at the age of 18. So from 18 years of age, now I'm 37. I've been in this for a while. I've been a pastor. I've planted churches. I've been invited everywhere. I get into America for 2 years. Nobody's giving me a chance to... The silence. But on top of that silence, I began to caution myself now. It felt like a desert place. Like, God...
Did I hear God right?
Did I hear God? But God, you said in 2003
Yeah.
that you're going to use me.
Yeah.
What is going on with this?
Yeah.
And I thought the journey was going to be for 3 years, but for almost 5 years of living in America. We're in a church for that 2 years, and then we moved somewhere. And then after we moved somewhere, we said, go plant a church in a different city. So we moved to that city. To cut the long story short, when you got there, we started gathering people and so we're planting a church in our house. And now we have a house. And after a month or so, the Lord said, do not start a church will be given to you. I said, God, here's the opportunity for me to do what you've called me to do. I've come to shake this nation. But for 5 to 6 years, I did not have anywhere to preach. But in that time, God was pressing me and forming me because I believe God was giving me a new voice that I never had. And in that process, after thought, I thought the Lord said, I'm going to give you a church. I thought it was going to be, boom, it's going to be like that. We had to wait for 3 years.
Yeah.
And in that 3 years, do you know how many times I wanted to move back to South Africa? Almost every week I'll tell my wife, in the 5 years, I want to go back to South Africa because at least in South Africa I can be able to provide for you. I could not get a job. And thank God for women of character like my wife. She worked tirelessly to support the vision that God had given to me and given to us as a family. But in that time, I felt horrible as a man. I thought, God, maybe you lied.
Sure.
God, you have lied.
Yeah.
People are forfeiting the promise and the prophetic words given to them.
It's time.
It's time we stop self-sabotaging. It's time we say, God, I'm going to believe you even if it takes long. Even if the unexpected has happened. God, you're not like men that you can lie. Yes.
So that's the gift number 1, the book launch on the 4th, not the 14th. On the 4th at Hatfield Christian Center from 11 o'clock.
Yeah, not Hatfield. Hatfield Christian Church.
Hatfield or Hatfield?
Hatfield.
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 Hatfield. So-
Hatfield. Yeah, not the heart.
So I said it correctly at the beginning.
You did.
Hatfield.
Hatfield, yeah.
Hatfield.
Yeah, the
Hatfield.
one in Pretoria East. Yes, on Coral Bay Avenue. Waterkloof Glen. I don't know the specific address, but it's in Waterkloof Glen. Hatfield Christian, next to Impact Radio.
Yeah, next to the school itself.
And
the Hatfield Christian
Yeah,
School.
I don't know if I'm allowed to mention other radio stations.
You've already done that.
I'm sorry.
So it's at Hatfield from 11 o'clock on the 4th. That's the book launch. And the book is Self-Sabotage, The Enemy of Prophecy. Yes. You can go with your 250, get yourself a copy. And also be blessed there because Muruti says there will be an impartation. There will be a ministry that will be taking place. People will be ministered onto on that day. That's the first gift that I have to you. And a family member, this is Miela. Is that, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Mamiala.
I know who that is.
I have a question for Muruti there. How should we posture ourselves once we have received a prophetic word? Should we put it on the shelf until it happens, or in action? Is action required from us? Is waiting on God sometimes procrastinating? Okay, Mamiala, let's ask him, how did he, because he received the prophecy, right? And then he started complaining for 5 years?
I did.
5 full years.
I did.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm going back to South Africa.
Yeah, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Kumbule.
So how did you change your posture? How did you posture yourself to, or what posture did you take when now you realize it's 5 years, Mara, nothing is moving?
The posture that I took was, I had to come to the place of trusting what I've been.
So you went back to God and say, I'm going to trust you.
Yeah, because I'm out of options. I've tried all I could try, and I've tried to open up my own doors. All the doors are shut in my face. So I'm gonna just wait on you because I trust you.
Sure.
I trust you. See, trust is the lifeblood of faith.
Yeah.
Without trust, then that's what Charles Spurgeon said. He said, trust is the lifeblood of faith. Without trust, there is no saving faith. And people should understand. And that's a very good question he's asking, because there's some words that God will give to you and tell you to wait, sit, wait on me. And those are some of the difficult ways that you get a word and you want to run with it because no, you're going to chill on this one.
Do you know how exciting it is to hear that the Lord is saying something about you?
Yep.
Waiting is nice.
It's not nice.
No.
Because we are impatient and want to run. And that's one of the chapters in my book, the self-sabotage of impatience.
Okay.
Because I get a word, and the culture we live in, we're very ambitious. And I want to make it happen. And I respect all that. I respect the hustle. I respect the fact that you are a go-getter. But there are certain words that will not be fulfilled until the right time. And that some of that time is determined by the posture of your heart. What do you do while you're waiting?
Okay.
Are you just going to take it and shelve it and forget and continue your life the way you're supposed to go? Or are you going to take that word?
So what is expected of us, as Mama Ila says as well?
Is to come in one with the one that has given you the word. To separate for the word giver to be more important than the word. That posture of the heart, say, God, yes, you've given me this word, and Lord, yes, there are promises that you've given to me, but God, I'm going to posture my heart to a place where you are the priority. Okay. While I'm waiting on you, God, I'm going to build an altar for you. God, I'm not going to be have this transactional relationship with you.
Okay, I saw you calling in. Sorry, family. I think I saw it a little bit late, so you can call again. I'll quickly take your call before I let Muruti go. So you can call in again on 012-334-1322. I saw it, but I think I saw it late. So do call again. Would like to hear from you. Okay, so we become like the waiter and the waitresses in a restaurant where they'll come and check, are you still fine? Can I bring water or whatever? Are you still fine? And checking up. So you're busy with the Lord around that. Your life centers around Him.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to think about Israel and Canaan in terms of the promised land. It comes in Genesis 12 where God says to Abraham, go to the land I will show you. He does not give him GPS coordinates. It's a word that it requires action. He gets the word and he moves. And he moves to a place where he doesn't know. But here's is a word that is given that he himself will never walk fully into. His children are the ones that are going to walk into that. Then that word now gets to a place where now the Israelites find themselves in the desert. And Moses says, let's get 10 spies to go spy the land. There's action there. Then they go spy the land. And the 8 come back with a bad report and say, oh, this cannot be done. The 2 say they can be done. This is the word is given, but that would require them to have faith to say, you know what, be like Caleb and Joshua and say, no, listen, we can certainly do this. Why can we certainly do this? Because this God is not man that he can lie.
That he should lie.
That he should lie. So God, we're taking you at your word. So there are some times God says, sit on the wait on the wait until it happens. There are times God says, now you're in the desert, we're getting into the promised land. We can certainly do this, or are you going to allow fear to speak? We are like grasshoppers in their own eyes, but you never talk to those people.
Yeah.
So it's a very good question Mamiala is asking here. It's like, what do I do? I'm receiving this word. The first step is to say, God, reveal to me the timing of what is it that you want? You've given me the word. What is it that I should do with the word? Because when God gives us a word, it's not just a word that is given. He wants us to engage with him in the journey of the fulfillment of that word. Most of us, when we have prophecy, say, hey, now I've got prophecy. Yeah, God, now I'm going to do it. But God said the whole point of it, I wanted to journey with you till the fulfillment of the word. The posture is to take back the word to God. You've given me this.
Okay.
Father, how is this going to happen? How are we going to journey through this?
All right. Sometimes fear comes in. We are like Gideon.
Oh.
And I've heard a lot of us being Gideons as well to say, but I'm the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mudimu can talk to Bo Pastor Ali Khosana. Me! Hi!
Yeah. Wrong address, God. Wrong address. Wrong person. That's not me. Go to Sispongile. Those will believe you.
Why would God ask me? I know. Yeah.
And another chapter in the book, insecurity.
The Gideon mentality.
The Gideon mentality, the insecurity. God says, and I become insecure. I take the word of the Lord and reflect it and allow it to reflect. I reflect through my background, where I've been, my shortcomings. Hey, now I grew up in a poor family. I don't deserve this. God, you know what I've done. You know this, you know that. And insecurity, I've seen a lot of people self-sabotage because of that. God comes and says, hey, you mighty man of valor. I say, oh, God, you're not talking about me.
Are you referring to me?
I always say to people that you have your earthly name and you have your heavenly name.
Yes.
Your heavenly name speaks to your destiny. In heaven, Gideon was a warrior.
Yes.
On earth, Gideon was hiding from the Midianites
Yeah.
in fear.
Yeah.
He was the least in his family. But don't you love it that when God comes, speaks his word to us, he does not speak his word to us according to our circumstances and according to where you've been? When God comes, speaks to us, he speaks to us his word according to who he has made us to be. He says to Jeremiah in Jeremiah 1, he said, before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you.
So you changed your posture.
Yes, I knew you. And he said, I didn't just knew you. And he said, but I established you, I made you, I appointed you a prophet. So it means your gift was established before you came on earth. So it means any insecurity that is going to come your way, it means it cannot, if you don't allow it, it cannot get to a place where it can oppose what God has said.
So when it comes, I should look at it as an enemy, as an attack.
It's an enemy of prophecy.
Okay.
So what do? I say, I need to turn to the word of God. God, this is what you said of me. 1 Timothy 1, verse 18. Paul says to Timothy, Timothy, my son, do not despise the prophetic words, and I'm paraphrasing. Do not despise the prophetic words spoken to you previously. He said, for with them you will wage war. How do I wage war with the prophetic word? How do I wage war with the promise of God? I wage war with it when insecurity knocks at my door and tells me what God has said to me is not going to come to pass. I go back and say, God, but God, this is what you said. I'm gonna war with your word. I read a chapter, the second last chapter in the book. I talked about another sabotage is the avoidance of war. We have looked at warfare and something that we shy from. And God has given us His word to say, you know what? When life begins to throw me what is contrary to what God has said, I take the word. Paul says, wage war with the prophetic word that was previously spoken to you. So it means when I find myself in a situation that does not align with what God has said to me before, no matter how I feel, I might be tired. I'm going to pick up that word. I say, this word is a sword that I'm going to fight against. I will not drown in this season. I will see, David says, I will see the goodness of
the Lord in the land of the
not in
living.
the land of the dead. How do you see it? You wage war with that thing.
Okay. Head-on collision.
And I know there's somebody that is listening now. You are on the verge of giving up because everything that God has said to you and everything that is happening right now at this moment is contrary to what you've heard from the Lord. And you have allowed your circumstances and the conditions you find yourself in now to speak louder than God. This is not the time to retreat. This is the time, some of you, to grab your journal, grab your phone, wherever you wrote that word and say, God, I thank you that you spoke this to me. And God, I'm going to wage you. I'm going to fight. I'm going to go to battle with this.
Is it that time where we say, not my will, but yours?
Yes.
Because our Lord Jesus Christ found himself where you,
Yeah.
and that's why he said, let this cup pass, but not mine.
Yep.
So should we go to that and say, Lord, not mine, but yours?
But yours. But the question is, what's the will of God for your life? Because sometimes you need to remind yourself of what God has said.
Remind.
And if you don't have a prophetic word, listen, you've got 66 books. You've got the word. Open and say, God, speak to me.
Okay.
God, speak to me.
All right.
And hold on to that.
Marita, we're going to pack it here. I'm believing, God, that you're coming back next week. I heard a little birdie saying you're coming. So we take it. I see bitterness is part of it. Shame is part of the enemies of prophecy as well. So to build on that. And as we are closing, most of us don't believe prophecy. If you use the word prophecy now, it's like, say what?
Yeah.
What do you say to the body of Christ in the light of that?
You should understand what the Bible says in the book of Corinthians about prophecy. He said prophecy is for the edification, exhortation, and the comfort of. So he's there. When prophecy comes out, is there to exhort, to comfort, and to edify you as a believer. And most of us, when we think about prophecy, we think about that thing when somebody tells you what you had for breakfast this morning. The demons know what you had this. The devil knows what you ate. That's a word of knowledge. And I think word of knowledge is part of prophecy, but it's not prophecy in itself. Because Isangoma or whoever, they have that knowledge of spirituality. But prophecy is when I begin to pull down the mysteries of God, what God is saying of your life, what God is saying of your future.
Aligned to your destiny.
But also to lift you up, to exhort you, to pick you up from a place where you've been saying, listen, this is not the end of the road. It might feel like the end is not the end. God is still on this path. And I think we need to change our mindset about prophecy from this pie in the sky that are promised, but to say, God, your prophecy is there to edify, to build, but also to point me in the direction that you want me to go. So if you don't believe in prophecy, guess what? you are missing out on the exhortation that the Lord wants to give to you.
Yeah.
You are missing out on the clarity of what God wants to point you towards. And I pray that if you have been a victim of false prophets, that may the Lord bring healing. May the Lord
Yeah.
begin himself to minister to your heart. May the Lord give you those dreams that will encourage you. May the Lord just bring people alongside you that will help you be restored to who he has called you to be. So prophecy is important.
Wow. Prophecy is important. Thank you so much, Muruti, for talking to us. Thank you for flying all the way to come
Amen.
launch the book here, which is like really awesome, ministering unto us. And I think in South Africa, this is what the body of Christ needs, especially these words that you just spoke to us about. We've seen a lot of false prophets rising right here in South Africa.
Yeah.
And a lot of prophetic words that were said that were not aligned with the word that were, and people have been discouraged as well. So it's a way of God saying, Emma, South Africa, lift up your head now, arise. It is time for us to arise. Thank you so much for that. The book launch is happening at Hatfield Christian Church, and it's happening on the 4th of October 2025 at 11 o'clock, and a book will be sold for 250. It's called The Self-Sabotage, the Enemy of Prophecy. There's a lot there. Bitterness is part of the enemy. Shame, fear, insecurity, by Pastor Ali Khosana. And for people who'd like to find out more about this, how can they contact you?
Or social media, Facebook is my name, Ali Khosana, A-L-L-Y, Khosana, K-G-O-S-A-N-A. Instagram is the same. TikTok, I'm on TikTok. TikTok is the same, Ali Khosana, A-L-L-Y, K-G-O-S-A-N-A. That's where you can find all the information you need.
Hopefully next week you'll be wrapping it a little bit up, Nyana, getting more into the into your journey as well. Can't wait to hear more about this. So, family, don't miss out. Don't miss it. Thank you so much, Muruti, for talking to us.
This was awesome. Thank you.